Stephen Duncombe. Okay. Da 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 da. Oh, okay. So this is starting?
Yes.
Okay. My name's Stephen Duncombe, part of the Student Strike Committee at the Graduate Center, City University. We took over our building 10 days ago in solidarity with the other CUNY striking campuses to protest the $500 tuition increase and the $92 million proposed budget cuts. For the past week and a half, 10 days, we've been occupying the building, having a plebiscite every day at 4:30, of which is an open forum where people are free to talk and vote upon the continued occupation. It was decided a couple of days ago that we would leave the Graduate Center in exchange for demands that the administration agreed to. Some of the demands were, one, that they issue a statement of support, which they have, issue a statement of support for the students' struggle against the budget cuts and the tuition increases. Two, that an emergency ad hoc committee be convened, of which we plan out a long-range strategy to defeat the budget cuts. Three, that a smaller committee be constituted which deals with specific Graduate Center issues. Four, that no disciplinary action be taken against any of the strikers at the Graduate Center. And five, and I think most importantly, a commitment of a resource center of which the students can struggle and have the resources for a CUNY-wide struggle against the budget cuts. Now, we made these conditions with our administration, and I want to stress that these conditions of which we left are specific just to the Graduate Center. We're still in solidarity with the other strikers at the other campuses, but for circumstances at the Graduate Center, we decided to take our struggle outside the university and continue the struggle outside the building and bring it into a public light in that way. Any other questions?
When you were inside occupying the building, what were the feelings inside with people and dealing with people outside? Did they have communication?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Was there communication with the
Yes, one of the things we did is we had these public plebiscites at 4:30 every single day, in which we'd get the whole campus community. I'd never seen so many people come to the Graduate Center out in the front mall and discuss openly the politics of these budget cuts, of the tuition hikes, of the occupying of the buildings. Everybody got a chance to speak, and at the end of each meeting, we would vote whether to occupy our building for another 24 hours. Every single day at 5 o'clock, it was voted unanimously to continue occupying the building. However, we're expending a large amount of effort in keeping our building, and we wanted to escalate the struggle outside of the building, to get it more in the public realm. And so we went into negotiations with administration and found our administration willing to deal on specific issues and unwilling to deal on other issues. And we negotiated over 3 or 4 days and hammered out agreements between us, of which we would leave the building at 12 o'clock on Thursday.
Since that time, since you agreed to free the building as of Thursday, since that time, what conditions have been agreed to?
Well, a public letter has been written by Steve Kahn, who's the president, the acting president of the Graduate Center, of which there is a public statement of support for the strikers. There is, again, a commitment to start an emergency ad hoc committee of faculty, students, staff, and administration to work out a long-range plan, because we have to remember that this isn't something that's just going to go away this spring. It's something that is a continued, sustained struggle. In addition, they promised to convene a committee to deal with more local Graduate Center issues, such as adjunct lines and specific library hours and other details of the Graduate Center, and a commitment to giving us resources such as an office, phone, access to fax machines, Xerox machines, to continue the CUNY-wide struggle, not just for the Graduate Center, but to act as a resource or a switchboard in which we can bring together all the information around about the disparate campuses and focus on a real sustained effort to fight these budget cuts and the tuition hikes.
Since Cuomo has gone so far with the threats of the budget cuts, that since that issue has come up, since it's affecting so many lives, that now the Graduate Center sees itself as a centralized, say, office or nucleus for change
Well,
addressing the student issues, or addressing the graduate issues and policy issues, like you're saying things like
Right.
access to fax machines, access to Xerox machines, and just resources in general. You see the graduate center as playing a very centralized role in bringing about this change. And were these things in existence prior to the threats of the budget cuts by Mario?
yeah. I mean, I think that we've been working on this for at least 3 years or much longer, but I want to stress that no, the Graduate Center and the students of the Graduate Center Strike Committee don't see ourselves in any sort of vanguard role. In fact, we followed the example of the students in the other colleges around the campus, and I want to stress that. What we will offer is our services and our resources, but that's it. We took their lead. They're not taking our lead, and I think that's very important. We looked up to them for inspiration. And the original strike was in solidarity with actions on other campuses. And what we'd like to offer is our skills as teachers to go and help the teaching. Okay. Again, what we'd like to do, I'd like to say it again, that we followed the lead of the city colleges around the New York City, and what we'd like to do is offer our services as teachers and as organizers to their struggles and our continued struggle together. But we support whatever tactics they feel are appropriate for their own individual struggles. We just feel that we want to be a resource that they can count on. Okay. Yeah.
And just happen to think that therefore you see that the struggle is our struggle.
The struggle is definitely, the struggle of CUNY is the struggle of CUNY. And the way that we're really going to get this thing together is all of us, yes, acting autonomously on different campuses, but through CUNY-wide solidarity. That we have to make people in the government understand that this is something for all of us, something for all of us. For example, not only am I a student at the Graduate Center, but I'm a teacher at Hunter College. And I go into my class and we talk about what are the tuition raises going to mean and what are the budget cuts going to mean. Well, the tuition raises mean 10 out of 35 students in my class will not be coming back, they feel. They feel that they can't afford it. Most of my students work 30 hours a week at least. And even if the ones that are coming back, I might not be there to teach them. Part of the proposed budget cuts is 600 adjunct lines. Already my classes are overcrowded. Already students in my department have to go sometimes 5 years to school in order to get required courses. These courses are not going to be offered for them. I'm not going to be there for them as a teacher, as well as a graduate student. And I think it's very important that just on one more of a grand scale we're all connected, but on an interpersonal level we're all integrally connected. And I think that this is something that we have to make people understand, and people will understand because we're going to continue working together, take different strategies at different times, but working together for this grand goal of lowering the tuition, cutting the budget cuts, and in the future, free education. We have to understand that these tuition hikes are part of this general idea of which, okay, it's still the best bargain around. It's still, but next year will be a little bit less of a bargain, But this idea of education as a bargain is a very bizarre issue. Education, this city university was started up as a free university. But this is a fundamental right of education. It's a very old ideal that education is a right. And to have a grand democratic country, you have to have an educated citizenry, not an educated upper-class citizenry. And so the long-range struggle is not just for this spring, keeping these tuition cuts down, and next spring maybe doing it again, but is to revitalize the idea of a free education, and to revitalize the idea of that education is a right for everybody, and concretely to make a free education at the City University of New York.